Welcome back, all of you amazing trail runners. Today I'm breaking down the Saucony XODUS Ultra. Quick note before we get started. This was not paid or endorsed by any way. I bought this with my money, probably against my wife's wishes, so that I could give you an honest, genuine review of one of Saucony's new trail shoes. So today, to start with, we're going to talk about the upper, the midsole, and that outsole for first impressions out of the box. Then I'm going to go hit the trails for some miles, come back, talk about what I like, what I dislike, and some overall thoughts about one of Saucony's newest shoes. Let's talk some quick facts and figures. Stack height in the heel, we got 32 millimeters of stack. In the forefront, 26, making a 6 millimeter drop across the shoe. A little bit more of a maxed cushion type shoe, but with a larger drop. The shoe weighs in my size, men's size 9, 10.3 ounces. So to me, it's not a heavy shoe, but I'm gonna say it's not a super light one at the same time. Moving to that upper, just looking at it, it's constructed with a mono mesh with lots of overlays, especially on that toe box and through the midfoot, coming back in to help give some support and some form. I do like that more stout toe box. That's something after my last race I found more value in, as I kicked a lot of rocks, but I don't feel that they've overdone it. It is still squishy. I don't feel like it's gonna black my toenails. Also on the upper, they have a debris shield over top of the tongue, an extra layer of mesh. I'll see if I can get a good photo here to help keep extra silt and small rocks from getting into the shoe. I like the concept of this, but I'm not sure if that extra material could take away and bunch up to give a non-secure fit, or if it was just going to give some extra padding maybe on the tongue. The tongue is definitely semi-gusseted. It's got, I'm gonna say actually really good padding across it, especially at the top of it. Nice and not too thick, but definitely not the paper thin ones that a lot of trail shoes have had this year. Looking at the heel, this is a stout heel. Like I can bend the top a little, but that has good form. I personally like seeing this in a shoe. I've had others where there's not much form in it that are easily collapsible, and I feel like with that typically I have trouble getting a good lockdown, or it causes rubbing and blisters. So nice stout heel with the little hook on the back to help pull on. There's also on the upper a built-in spot for a shoe gaiter. Moving to the midsole. The midsole is Saucony's Power Run PB. This is supposed to be a good cushioning, lighter material overall from Saucony. It just kind of pushing in on it. It seems pretty stiff though. Yeah, it doesn't have much give just pushing in on it. But that could be how they've built in the rock plate for protection. Didn't dig that far into it yet, but I do like the thought of a rock plate as I transition to some more technical runs. That way I'm not feeling everything pushing through the shoe. Looking at the outsole, we've got a 3-piece Power Track outsole with some pretty deep lugs, about 4.5, maybe 5 millimeters, with a traditional chevron lug pattern. But you do see the spacing in there where you can see that rock plate, and then the split design in the heel. I see this in a lot of shoes. I think it's to help just clear mud. And then finally, price point, coming in at $150. I'm going to say that this is probably in that mid to lower end for what you're getting. So I do like to see that. I could easily see Saucony trying to put this at maybe $160 with the way prices are this year. So those are the quick first impression facts and figures. I'm going to go hit the trail, maybe a road mile or two in there to get to the trail, and come back and give you my likes and dislikes and overall thoughts. All right, just got in that nice 6-mile run in some gorgeous fall weather. I have to say my first impression with this shoe is that I'm impressed. I think they did a lot of things right and a few things that they got wrong. So let's get into the positives. The first, I do like that Power Track outsole with the combination of the rock plate. Now, it wasn't muddy, it wasn't slippery out to really test it, but I was in some looser stuff and I liked it. Is it an overall replacement for like a Vibram Mega Grip? Jury's still out, but I did have confidence in it for sure. The rock plate, you could tell it was there. I intentionally stepped on some roots and some jagged things. No issue whatsoever, so I could really see going the distance with this. Next, the toe box. That toe box is actually pretty wide. I'm not going to say that it's an ultra wide, but it reminded me more of a topo. Feet could splay. I have slightly wider feet, and I did not have any pinching or any issues. If you have a narrow foot, you might not like that, but to me it was a big win. And that mesh on the upper was very breathable. It was not hot with the overlay. That midsole, it felt stable, it felt bouncy, and it felt fast. You could really feel the energy in it, and I could feel that I wanted to turn over my feet and force myself to slow down. So kudos for that. Overall softness of that midsole, I'm not going to put it on par with a Speed Goat or the New Balance Fresh Foam. However, it reminded me a lot of a Salomon Ultra Glide. It was nice, it was very comfortable, but there was a little bit of firmness in it. So I'm really surprised just based on that initial pushing, it was that comfortable. I expected it to be a lot firmer. But at the end of the day, not everything can be podium finishes and aid station porta potties. There are some things that I dislike about this shoe. Detest the shoelaces they used. The reason for this, I don't know if you can tell or not, I'll try to get an extra shot of it, but they stretch. They're stretchy, they're not rigid. So it took me a while to get them adjusted to the point that I had a good lockdown. Because I found as, like, if I would go up or downhill, I could feel that stretch, and I was no longer had that great lockdown that I don't even think I mentioned, very secure. I could tell in the beginning that that didn't hold true until I reworked the laces a couple times. Likely, I will gut these and put in something a little bit better. I've had the elastic laces in road shoes for marathons, didn't mind, but that's relatively flat. With elevation change, poor idea, in my opinion. But now I think about it, might be my only dislike with my first impression of the shoe. So, well done, Saucony. Well done. So, final thoughts on the shoe. Saucony did a lot of things right in terms of how I prefer my trail shoes. It's roomy. It's breathable. It has a good lockdown. The midsole is comfortable, not overly squishy. The shoe feels fast, and there's good grip and a nice rock plate for protection on those longer runs. I can see this being in my normal rotation because overall this shoe in so many ways hit the sweet spot. You can take it on a short or a long run, smooth or rugged. It can handle a variety of terrain, conditions, and distances. Myself, I could see myself using this all the way up to maybe a 50 miler, maybe even 100K. I have that kind of confidence that the shoe would be able to handle it and my feet would be well taken care of. I believe if you're looking for a solid all-around shoe, this is a great option for you. It's not too expensive and it can do a little bit of all of it. So thank you for watching. If you're still here, give a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments if you've tried it or are interested in it. I will have an affiliate link through a shoe company if you do decide to buy it that'll help me out. But until then, keep lacing up, keep running, and keep running happy.